and who needs to step up for the Lakers. Plus, 13 in a row for the defending Western champs. JJ Redick explains why the Suns are the hottest team in the league. And is Giannis on a path that is paved for the GOATs? Brian Windhorst tells us how the Greek Freak's career follows another king as NBA Today starts right now. Welcome to NBA Today. I'm Malika Andrews. Richard Jefferson, Kendrick Perkins, and JJ Redick are all going to be joining us in just a few. But we start with LeBron's suspension for tonight's game against the Knicks. And for that, let's welcome in senior NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski. Woj, what factors played into the league's decision to suspend LeBron for just one game?
Oh, Malika, let's go to two key points on the incident in Detroit the other night. Number one, the hit itself. LeBron James to Isaiah Stewart's face, opening up the cut on his face, and what looked like certainly an intentional strike to his head, and certainly that plays a part. But ultimately, in the severity of the suspension, one game, LeBron James is not a player with a history of this, and certainly he's been in the league 19 years now. That has certainly not been something you have seen from him before. And the NBA does take that into consideration. Repeat offenders, players who are continually involved in that kind of stuff, that kind of physical stuff, they're going to get a tougher penalty from the league. LeBron James, one game, and obviously it's a big one on the schedule, missing a game at Madison Square Garden against the Knicks tonight.
Absolutely. And as you said, Woj, this is the first time in his career that he's been suspended. When he's been ejected in the past, it's been a two-tech ejection. We've only seen that once. So now going to the East, to the Sixers, Joel Embiid has missed 8 games in 15 days after being diagnosed with COVID-19. So what's the timetable for his return?
Malika, listen, help's on the way, and this is a Philadelphia team that finishes their road trip in Golden State on Wednesday. 6 games, started in Indiana and ends with the Warriors. A terrific win last night against the Kings. But there's optimism that Joel Embiid can be back on this upcoming homestand in Philadelphia. They play Saturday, they play Monday, and there's optimism it could be as soon as Saturday. And certainly for a Philadelphia team, if you told them at the beginning of the season they'd have no Ben Simmons, they would miss Joel Embiid, for this kind of stretch of games and still be at 10-8. I think they would take it, and the chance now to get Embiid back. Remember, it takes him a while to ramp back up physically. He's been out. He's certainly a big physical player in size, and so he's ramping back up now, and the hope is that they'll get him back on this homestand after Thanksgiving.
As soon as potentially Saturday. That is very interesting. We will keep an eye on that. Thank you so much, Woj.
Thanks, Malika.
All right. Well, and we get to see the Sixers, you and me.
Yeah, let's go.
That's going to be fun. But let's go back to Detroit and let's see what happened over there. Can we
go? Let's go to the LED. Let's go to this. I know everybody wants to break this down. We've been talking about it. What happened? And, LeBron. I had guys working in here like, is LeBron a dirty player? I don't think so.
No. I mean, we heard Adrian Wojnarowski just say that was something that was taken into consideration. Yeah. But I do want to see this from your point of view.
Oh, you definitely want to see it from my point of view. Because look at this. Now, first of all, the guy at the top never gets pushed like that. Now, that's rare to happen. Now, for Bron, that's a tough one, and he immediately knew he messed up.
Right.
But this is where it gets fun. Now, this is where it gets interesting, and this is something that we have not seen from a lot of players, right? Stewart, he had a level of aggression there that I don't think we've seen. Now, I understand. You get furious. You want some of the person that just got a lot of you, and I get it. But you got to keep your calm. You got to keep your cool. He is right. You understand him. But watch this. Hold on. I just want to talk to him. No, I'm going to go get him. Just let me talk to him. I just want to have a conversation. That's it. Look, we even got broken grapples. You hear that NFL music in the background? That's what we got. Where's Berman? That's what we need because he was breaking tackles like it was Jonathan Stewart, not Isaiah Stewart. So it was impressive to see it. And now we got these two big heads. Oh, damn it.
I know. We're the side. We are little compared to them. But thank you for that.
I got you.
Richard. These two don't need any introduction. But just in case, this is Kendrick Perkins and JJ Redick. So I want to start with you, Perk. What do you think about this 1-game suspension for LeBron and 2 for Isaiah Stewart? Was that the right amount?
Absolutely. It was fair. And I think, like Woj said, it goes on your history. And I know all the LeBron haters and a lot of old heads is like, yes, we finally got him. But here's the thing, right? LeBron James, that you get tangled up in the moment. And I feel like with Isaiah Stewart, he's a guy that you could call an enforcer. Well, I was an enforcer. I actually played with a guy that was an enforcer by the name of Steven Adams. And when you're down there and you're tangling up and you're shooting elbows and you're getting physical, sometimes you're going to get caught with an elbow. You just have to deal with it. It's part of it. But I will say it was fair both ways. Isaiah Stewart, the reason he got 2 games is because he just caused this big old scene that I felt like he didn't have to cause.
Kept going, JJ.
Yeah, I have no problem with the length of suspension for either guy. Obviously, LeBron instigating the entire scenario, clearly intentional, probably not intentional that he hit him in the face. And Isaiah Stewart went into a fit of rage. We've all tasted our own blood. This reminded me of my 5-year-old when he falls and he sees, a scratch on him and he's fine. But then once that thing opens up and starts bleeding, he goes nuts.
Yeah, once you see Perk, you look incredulous.
Yeah.
You look incredulous, Perk.
He doesn't know what that word means because I don't know what that word means.
No, it wasn't even about the word. It was the fact that JJ said that LeBron instigated this, and he didn't. When you're at the free throw line and the guy's in the middle, why is Isaiah Stewart even entertaining LeBron James when he should have been battling with DeAndre Jordan, who was in front of him?
There's no instigation. There was no instigation here. It was a good box out. Bron did too much.
Well,
he knows.
And he knew it because he went right back over to say.
I don't like that.
Yeah, no, and I'm with you, JJ.
He was playing physical, Perk.
I'm with
He was
you,
playing
JJ.
physical.
And look, at the end of the day, we know Bron in 19 years, we don't see a history of that. I have seen talk of people like, man, people are going after Bron. I'm like, look, I've seen Kobe get 2 pieces in a biscuit from Chris Childs. I've seen Michael Jordan get in fights. I've seen Larry Bird and Dr. J. I've seen Kareem Abdul-Jabbar cold cock somebody in his face. So this is just a part of basketball. It doesn't happen often, but it's good to see the king get in a scuffle.
Well, it is a part of basketball. And speaking of, we took a little look through your guys' careers, your guys' history. We'll get to that in a minute. And JJ, you were once cut open inadvertently by Danny Green in a sort of similar manner?
Let's see.
I had a bloody lip. I'm not going to lie, I had a bloody lip. My issue, and I got a technical on this play, my issue was the prior play, he had also inadvertently hit me in the face. So it was back-to-back plays. The refs missed them both. There I am trying to get the
JJ,
blood under control.
I played with Danny.
Just blood everywhere.
JJ, I played with Danny, and he told me it wasn't inadvertent. I just want to tell you, he said to me it wasn't inadvertent. I don't know what the statute of limitations are, but he said, yo, did you ever see when I got
Danny would hit me in the face. Danny would hit me in the face multiple plays in a row and then complain to the referees about Joel setting illegal picks. Come on.
But you looked really good with that toilet paper hanging your mouth and out of your mouth. And Perk, you also once jostled with a former MVP on a box out. Let's get that going because Dirk Nowitzki. What?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
9. Dirk was like 9.
Yeah, see,
but no one is getting up off the bench for you. What's going on here? No one's even standing up.
You got it.
You know what? Because I came into this world one deep, and I stand one deep. I don't need nobody to help me get out of the situation.
Well,
but look, that goes to show you my point exactly, right? I went at Dirk. That doesn't mean Dirk is soft. That doesn't mean I didn't respect him. That doesn't mean I didn't fear him on the court, because we all fear Dirk Nowitzki and what he was capable of doing on the basketball court. But in the heat of the battle, it don't matter what the last name of your jersey is. It'll matter about getting between those lines and doing whatever you need to do to win the basketball game.
Perk, I don't know if anybody feared Richard, because I know you never had a real scuffle, but there was this with Jonas Valanciunas. He elbowed you. What?
Oh, that was a good elbow,
is
too.
That an
No. I was like, listen, don't you do that. That's a real, because you got to be smart. This is the postseason, people. You think I'll mess around and get suspended for the postseason? I'm not going to do that. Sometimes you got to keep your calm. That was a good elbow by him. I understood it. It was no big deal. But most of the time, I came into this league with an actual enforcer, Kenyon Martin, who was just going around clubbing people for the first portion of my career. So I never needed to be like, watch this. Oh, T-Mac. He clubbed T-Mac and was like, what you want? You want some more? You want some more? Then watch this, Corey. He's like, Corey, push him down. Corey, don't you do that. Right at his throat. See, when you start a guy, and the only reason why I was protecting Corey, I wasn't stopping him from Ken. I was like protecting Corey from Ken. I'm like, you don't want that. You don't want any of that. Plus, I got to play 35 minutes every single time Kenyon got suspended. So I was all for Kenyon.
You're just with the, can I get a little bit of that?
What you think, man? I've got a finals to win. What you doing?
All right. That's enough. Let's go back to the court on Monday night. The Suns, they haven't lost in nearly 4 weeks.
That's a month.
4 weeks. Good job. That is a month. It's all the way back on October 22nd. They're looking for their 13th straight win. So let's take a look. The Suns visiting the Spurs here. DeAndre Ayton went nuts.
No, and this is why DeAndre Ayton is so important to this team. Yes, you have maybe the best backcourt in basketball in Chris Paul and Devin Booker, but you need that balance. You need that paint presence on the offensive and defensive end.
But the Spurs, they don't go away. So they were down by double digits early here, but they're going to have something to say.
Yeah, Devin Booker is going to keep playing, but also this is a Greg Popovich, not even team organization, so they're going to keep playing. He's going to challenge them to keep playing. And the Suns, look, they're great in crunch time, but you got to be careful with the ball. Even Chris Paul, a rare mistake by him. And then, look, the Phoenix Suns get a little rattled. Jay Crowder gets in there to take the ball out of bounds, but then the Suns make a crucial mistake.
We'll take a look at this. So Jay Crowder inbounds the ball. Where's Jay Crowder going?
I have no idea where Jay Crowder was going. Probably he didn't want to get on top of Chris Paul. But the idea is you can't just always assume teams are going to foul. You got to protect the ball. Chris Paul, the Devin Booker wins the jump ball, and pretty much game is a wrap.
Well, let's take a look at what they said after the game.
Last year, we know how it feels to get happy on the farm and, to celebrate today. But we're not working for today. We're working for the big stages. Like I said from the beginning of the season, man, I'm trying to be more of a threat. I seen the flaws and mistakes and stuff that I should have done in the playoffs and finals, especially the finals. I didn't like the way I performed in the finals and trying to make a mark and get my memory back on scoring the ball in many different ways.
So let's take a little bit of a deeper look on how the Suns are getting it done. Since the streak started, they have the second best defensive efficiency in the NBA, and that is only behind the Warriors. And their offense, it is also clicking on all cylinders. They lead the league in field goal percentage in that span, shooting better than 48% and scoring over 113 points per game, and that ranks second in the NBA. And Chris Paul is the only player averaging over 10 assists per game. He's on pace to earn his 5th assist title and lead the league for the first time since 2015. So I want to bring back in JJ Redick here, get his opinion. Players are always saying, you got to go hard for all 48 minutes. You got to leave it all out there. But what are you seeing that is so impressive, and at what point in the game from the Suns?
Well, first of all, they've hit a little bit of a soft spot in the schedule. Last week they had Dallas twice, no Luka. They played Denver next, no Jokic. So there's a little bit of fortuitousness in their schedule right now. But what's been really impressive about the Phoenix Suns is their fourth quarter offensive execution. You have one of the most detail-oriented coaches in Monty Williams. You have two elite closers, playmakers, shot makers in Chris Paul and Devin Booker. And you have a Suns team that understands how to play good basketball. You see a lot of ball movement. You see a lot of counters off of offensive sets. In this 13-game winning streak, they are the number one offense in the league, 118.6 points per game in the fourth quarter. That is elite.
It is closing time in Phoenix. They are knowing how to get it done. Even when we just saw them have a little bit of trouble, they know how to finish it out. JJ, please don't go anywhere, because we have so much more to get into here on NBA Today. Because coming up, Jaylen Brown returned last night in a Celtics win, and Perk tells you who the catalyst is for Boston. Plus, Brian Windhorst explains how Giannis' trajectory to an MVP and a champion at age 26 looks similar to last night. The Nets, they beat the Cavs behind KD's 27 points and James Harden's 14 points and a season-high 14 assists. The Nets have won 6 of their last 7. So, Richard, the Nets starting to look like the Nets again without Kyrie?
Yeah, they are. And understand this. Last year, they played with only 2 superstars the majority of the time. And they didn't even have a guy like LaMarcus Aldridge doing what LaMarcus Aldridge is doing, because he came late in the season. So I think this team is going to be just fine.
Especially when they get some more from Joe Harris back. The Hornets beat the Wizards behind Terry Rozier. Scary Terry had 32 points, made 8 threes. It was his 5th game with at least 8 threes with the Hornets, the most such games in franchise history. So, Perk, Hornets surpassing your expectations?
No, because, look, I had this team picked to make the playoffs, and they will make the playoffs.
There you go.
Led by LaMelo Ball, who's, by the way, box office.
So then let's go to the Kings, who lost to the 76ers in their first game since firing Luke Walton and replacing him with Alvin Gentry. Sacramento has lost 8 of their last 9. JJ, you played for Gentry in New Orleans. What does he bring to the Kings?
Well, he's going to bring energy. He's going to bring an offensive acumen. But look, he's facing an uphill battle. He's the 11th head coach in the last 15 years since Rick Adelman last led the Kings to the playoffs in 06. This is a franchise in disarray.
Well, let's go to Boston, who's hoping to be in less disarray. Jaylen Brown returned to the Celtics lineup after missing the last 8 games with a hamstring injury. He scored 19 points as Boston won its 3rd straight game.
It didn't feel great. I was a little tight today, but we got the win. Most importantly, we just got to keep adding to winning. I think we got something that we're trying to build over here. So keep finding ways to win, and I'll find ways to get back to my body 100%, and we'll be out there, and let's get some things rolling.
All right, let's get some things rolling with our own captain Celtics. Perk, the Celtics have won 6 of their last 8, and now with Jaylen Brown back in the fold, who's stepped up the most for the Celtics during this run?
Well, it was Jason Tatum. I mean, when you look at the beginning of the season, he was struggling. He could not make shots. He wasn't engaged into the game. And then all of a sudden, a light switch cut on. And now we're starting to see those 30-piece wings dinners, Cajun rubs, and also grabbing rebounds, going in the paint and helping bigs out and helping Al Horford out, while the Celtics are missing Robert Williams. But when you look at Jason Tatum, he's back to looking like one of the best scorers in the game today, and that's what the Celtics need.
I'm going to be honest, Perk. I kind of like the teriyaki wings and stuff with the Parmesan on it, so I'll be staying tuned for when a player earns that from you.
But the Cajun rub hit different, though, Malika.
It's extra spicy, and some days I'm with that, some days not so much. But they might be with it in the Wednesday doubleheader on ESPN. KD and James Harden and the Nets take on the Celtics at 7:30, and then Richard and I will be there as Steph and the Warriors host the Sixers, who finish up a 6-game road trip. Coverage starts with NBA Countdown at 7 o'clock Eastern. Up next on NBA Today, it's the top of the top, plus an outfit that you're just a couple of dancers. This is a bad idea, Richard, but we're going to try it anyway, Daniela.
5, 6, 7, cha-cha-cha. Cha-cha-cha, back. Cha-cha-cha, forward. Cha-cha-cha, back.
Ooh, that's it.
Cha-cha-cha.
You've been over there watching YouTube. I don't know what I'm doing.
All it takes is commitment into the step.
Where's Big Perk at?
All right.
Both of her toes.
Forward,
right,
back.
back.
Cha-cha-cha, back, forward. Cha-cha-cha, forward, back. Cha-cha-cha.
Stop act like you dance with a girl.
So that was special. But not only did Iman Shumpert and Daniela Carragher teach Richard and I, well, taught me, and Richard was like sort of there and sort of dancing. They won! They won Dancing with the Stars last night. Shum became the first former NBA player to ever win, which is awesome. So congratulations to Daniela and to Iman Shumpert. Are you next? Are you
did you guys not see me?
Oh,
There's
we
zero chance.
Saw you in all of whatever glory that was not.
Trash.
You know what? Let's
stop.
Put that over there. And let's go to the game of the night. Utah, John Morant, the Grizz. It was a lot prettier than whatever we just saw from you, Richard. So the Jazz are hosting the Grizzly. And look, before the game, Jordan Clarkson meets a young fan who is dressed like him.
That reminds me of the reporter that was like, have you ever been to Utah games? Asked that of Clarkson.
That's great. Well, so is Rudy Gobert, who had that block on John Morant. Gets out.
Just offense to defense, or defense to offense, excuse me. That's why Rudy Gobert is so important for this team.
So we have 15 seconds left in the game. John Morant misses the free throw, but then,
that was weird, because honestly, even watching this replay,
it's unclear who touches it.
Yes, it is very unclear.
Well, the refs just so happen to agree with you on this. They take a look at it. Rudy Gobert says, I don't know, I don't think it was me, so it ends in a jump ball.
Oh, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen. John Morant, the future. Look at the hang time. And then Jackson just knocks down the huge three.
Look at this. One more time. Pretty. And he knows it. He's
He
like,
knows
yeah,
it.
I'm a bad
in Utah,
man.
that's a tough one.
It's a tough place to play. So one last chance for Utah. Donovan Mitchell hoists.
No feast.
Can't quite get it to go. So the Grizzlies, Richard, they ended this game on a 7-0 run. The Grizzlies won it 119-118. So that was a big shot by Jaren Jackson Jr. In fact, it was his first career go-ahead shot in the final minute of a fourth quarter or overtime. He had entered Monday's game 0 for 6 in those situations, but you got to take it so you can make it.
And the more time he gets, he spent a lot of time being injured and not getting this repetition, not getting these opportunities. So, look, this is huge for the Grizzlies, especially coming down the stretch. You're going to need them to hit big shots.
Well, can we hit some big shots on the top?
Top of the top, let's go!
Woo-hoo!
Ladies and gentlemen.
Salsa over there?
No, my dancing days are done.
Okay, well then, I'll just.
Yeah, you can keep
over here.
cha-cha-cha because that's what you do. I can't dance.
Well, yeah, I did watch a couple of videos beforehand. My goodness,
Oh.
so bonus.
What was you doing? He was coming over late. Is that now? See, this is where, as a guard, you were supposed to be there early, and then you made a mistake of trying to do too much a little too late.
That was filthy. All right, so let's go to top handle. We already talked about Terry Rozier in DC, but he put poor Aaron Holiday on skates.
Oh, a little fake pass. This is when you start feeling yourself. Right now, the Hornets should be feeling themselves. They got all the swag. They went against a very good Wizards team. And so for them to come out there, probably two of the surprise teams, not only just in the conference, but in the league.
Well, and that was a heck of a performance for him. He finished with 32 points. All right, so let's go to top lobs. Kenyon Martin?
Yeah, that many times you get senior and junior on here. We got senior on here earlier, clubbing people, and now we got junior on here just throwing down the little lob.
Like his pops on
there
that
we go.
one.
Not a lot of
goodness.
father-son highlights on NBA T, so this is a good
No,
move.
but we got to visit what Atlanta is doing. Oh, my goodness.
Look,
Collins.
I'm trying to figure out who Collins reminds me of because this connection between him and Trey, it kind of reminds me a little of Steve Nash and Amari. I'm not disrespecting the two, but a lot of times when we see those highlights, that's what I get glimpses of. No. This is kids. Don't watch.
Then there's this.
Kids, don't watch.
Then there's this.
Don't watch. Oh.
Would you wear it, Richard?
No, it looks like a Snuggie, but Kyle Kuzma, I think he got it on backwards.
Are
got
you
the tag in the front?
Okay, but that's maybe the style nowadays.
Is that Coogee? Is that a Coogee sweater?
You are asking
Too much?
the wrong person. Although our producer Hillary Guy did show up in a sweater that is reminiscent of this today. So
look, Kyle can pull this off. Look. In LA he's an 8, in DC he's a 10. This is a DC 10. Good for him. He can pull this off.
you know what? I think that we should all get one. We should all show up. We should all.
There's enough fabric in that for
all of us. I think this should go with Serge Ibaka's scarf. And we can just kind of
could you imagine the sweater
marry
with the
those
scarf?
two
We'll get that. We'll get that for you guys. We'll get it for you guys.
Well, we'll bundle up in that for this Thanksgiving. And speaking of this Thanksgiving week, NBA players and teams are giving out food and gifts to aid their community during this holiday season. So take a look.
This is awesome to do this as a team. You know, we got so many guys that care about this community, and to see everyone out here in full force, players, staff, goes a long way to just continue to make this community better and make our organization a big part of this community.
I was a jack of all trades. Wherever they needed me, I filled the spot. We were packing bags, we were moving t-shirts, we were directing traffic, filling trunks, communicating, fist bumping, high-fiving. Whatever they needed, I was there, providing assistance.
You know, to be able to see the smiles on people's faces, the impact we make, and to be able to have my boys from Ron Brown here, my teammates, all are monumental. It's bigger than just us.
See the comparison as players. I mean, certainly you can point to a few similarities as players. The comparison that I get is their competitive stamina. We've seen individual greatness now from LeBron for almost 2 decades. I suspect we're going to see that from Giannis as well. A great example of this, the guy wins MVP in 19, MVP in 20, Finals MVP with a 50 ball in Game 6, coming off a championship, shortened offseason. Opening night, they get the ring. He goes for 32, 14, and 7. He's come out this season out for blood.
Perk?
You know what? I look at the way Giannis is dominating, and I look at the years he has left of dominating. When I look at LeBron James, it was a point where he was dominating for a long period of time. I mean, like 10, 11 years straight. And Giannis could do that with his athleticism, his brute strength. And so when I look at what Giannis has already achieved and the route that he's going, just like this, for example, if I'm a general manager in the NBA, or we took a survey and asked all the GMs around the league, if they were starting a franchise today that they could build on for the next 10 years, what player are they taking to start that franchise? I guarantee you, each one of them would say Giannis Antetokounmpo. And back then, they would say the same thing about LeBron James. And that's why I see a lot of comparisons, because he could run the table. He has the ability to, and now that he's making others around him better, is taking this game to another level.
Well, and when Tim Bontemps does conduct that survey at the beginning of the year, you're right, Perk. We've heard Giannis's name come up a whole bunch of times, along with Luka Doncic, but Giannis is up there for the last several years, and I expect him to continue to be, as you said. But Richard, you know as well as I do that Giannis is always searching for the next challenge. He was talking about winning a championship just hours after he won his first. So what do you view as the next thing he is going to or needs to accomplish?
Well, and this is the unfairness of greatness. Like, he's already got most improved player. He's already won two MVPs. We already know the company. He will only be judged from this day forward on how many championships he wins. That's it. Very similar to LeBron James and Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson. He is one of the greats. He's going to continue to be one of the greats. And so right now, will he win 2 and fall in the line of an Akeem Olajuwon? Will he win 4 and fall in the line of a Bron? Will he get to 5 or 6 like Kobe or MJ? That is the only place for him to go. So every year he doesn't win a championship, it will literally be a disappointment, very similar to Bron.
Well, and you said that's the burden of greatness, right? That's not something that's a knock. That's something that's because he is so good. That is what people look towards from him. And frankly, that's what he looks towards from himself. Because like I said, he was sitting across from me just an hour, 2 hours after winning a championship saying, that's the messed up part about my brain. I'm already thinking about how I can do it again. So coming up on NBA Today, no LeBron and possibly no AD tonight for the Lakers in Madison Square Garden. But Richard tells us why we might see a better Russell Westbrook. Don't stat me. That's next. UCLA on ESPN in a battle of number 1 versus number 2. So, Perk, I know you are locked into college hoops, and this is where I disclose that I am a big Zags fan, all about what happens in the kennel. But what are you looking forward to most in this game?
I'm looking forward to UCLA getting their get back, right? You look at last year, UCLA had one of the great runs during the tournament and getting knocked off in the Final Four by Gonzaga. And so you look at UCLA, they brought back almost everybody, if not everybody, and now they have their chip on their shoulder, and they should have this game circled because now you don't have to wait down the line. It's right here in front of your face. So when I look at this game against Gonzaga, I'm looking at UCLA to come out fiery, with intensity, and come back to get their get back. They need their lick back tonight. I need mine. Spicy
chicken, extra sauce, 18-piece, something like that? All right. Well,
Perk more of a 30-piece guy.
But it's going to be fried turkeys. It's going to be fried turkeys because it's Thanksgiving. Fried
it's going to be fried turkeys. All right.
Yes.
Well, let's see how that one shakes out. Let's see how that one shakes out, Big Perk. All right, as we mentioned at the top of the show, there's no LeBron tonight. The Lakers take on the 9-8 Knicks, and Anthony Davis is questionable with flu-like symptoms. LA lost 8 of their last 10 in Madison Square Garden, and the Knicks are 4 of 7 in the month of November. So, Richard, number 1, I feel like I need to tell Perk that it's not Gonzaga, it's Gonzaga. It's the Zags.
No, it's Gonzaga.
It's the Zags, not the Zogs. Get out of here. What stat do you have for this game?
It is Gonzaga until they win a national championship. Then I'll say their name right. Look, as we mentioned, no LeBron tonight.
Good one.
AD is questionable, so that puts a little bit more attention on Russ. Now, I know Russ has gotten a lot of heat for his turnovers and late game execution, and rightfully so, but practice does not make perfect, it makes progress. So these are some stats that show subtle improvements over his last 3 games. Let's look at the video and see what Russ has been doing. First, I don't even know I should have said that. So now look at this. Russ is taking his time. He is far more under control. He understands where his spots are. He understands where his teammates are. Now look at this. Down 6, 7 minutes to go. This was during the comeback. No LeBron James. He can spot the angles. He knows what his teammates are doing more. Then here, under control, he fills the double team. This is a man that's led the league in assists. Now he's got LeBron James back. He got the big fella back, so he knocks it down. Then here, I really like this play. We know Russ. He'll go 1-on-5. He'll go 1-on-19 if you let him. But he takes his time. He sees the wall, and again, you get Carmelo, one of the best shooters in this league, one of the best shooters of all time, and he just crushes it. Now, I understand there is no LeBron James in the Garden, but don't worry. You can come see him in a real arena. It's called Barclays, January 25th against the Brooklyn Nets. So all the New York people, I know you guys didn't get to see him in the Garden, but he'll be back there in a month to put on the show against Kevin Durant, the best player in the New York area.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, how far are you going to go? Best player in
the New York area.
Okay, in the New York area, in the tri-state area. All right, let's bring back in JJ and Perk and your fried turkey wings. Perk, are you buying what Richard is selling?
Yeah, I am. But, I know we putting all the focus on the Lakers, and here's the good thing about it. I know AD might not play. We know LeBron James is not playing. But guess what? The Knicks are not good right now either. The Knicks are like a broken refrigerator that can't keep anything cold. Okay, and so when I look at what they're doing, I'm looking at a team like the Lakers that just got back Taylor Horton-Tucker, who's playing exceptionally well right now. Avery Bradley has upped his game, and we all know when Russell Westbrook gets the keys all the way and he's able to dominate the ball majority of the game, he's able to make others around him better. Meaning not an Anthony Davis, but he could get a DeAndre Jordan 16 points because all of them gonna be lobs at the basket. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, I know we got our concerns about the Lakers, but the Knicks are not that good right now. They're playing horrible.
Okay. Wow. All right. Richard, you're making a face.
No. I was going to let JJ.
All right. Well, then let's let JJ go because I am curious, JJ. Russ has taken so much flack this season, and we see him in spurts, right? Looking, okay, that's old Russ. What is the indicator when you are watching him play for when Russ is playing at a high level?
How much he's in the paint. And that's what it comes down to. How much is he not settling for jumpers? The other night in Detroit, early in the game, they're basically playing off of him at all times. The ball would swing to him. He'd settle for a jumper. He led that comeback along with Melo by just getting in the paint. The more he gets in the paint, the more he creates for other people. The other thing about this team, at times, Taylor Horton-Tucker has looked like a revelation, just incredible playmaking, a guy you can run your offense through at times. But that's part of the problem with this team. You already have three guys you can run your offense through in Westbrook, AD, and LeBron. The only guy who's really starring as a role player is Carmelo, and so there's got to be more guys starring in their roles for the Lakers.
Well, and one stat that was up on the bottom previously that was interesting to me, 3 turnovers for Russell Westbrook over the last 4 games, and that makes a huge difference. So, Richard, we heard Perks real down on the Knicks. Who you got tonight?
Honestly, I still have the Knicks. I still